Before we get into today's episode, big ups to the members of the Patreon. 75 paid members.
Nice.
Love all you sons of bitches, especially Daniel Gibson, Mahul Patel, Abel Rezin, Ben Kotzian, Christopher Velasquez, Derek Platees, Dylan Chadwick, Jerry Shapiro, Jordan Riley. Jordan Riley just tagged the Instagram. He got a VM hoodie.
Oh, sick.
Shouts out to Jordan Riley.
He's from the UK. He's actually the dude that got me the rainbow belts for jiu-jitsu that I gave to my coaches.
Oh, my God. It's hilarious.
They had
Do you actually wear those? Are you a rainbow belt now, right?
rainbow belt?
Yeah.
He's been a rainbow belt.
I've been a rainbow belt. Yeah, I've been a rainbow belt. So he's the one that got that. Shout outs to Jordan, Mike Stevens, Nick Crummich, and Thomas Robinson. Remember, support for the show comes from Patreon. Patreon.com/veterans minimum. $1 American. It's like 3 cents a day. You guys spend money on way worse. Support the channel. George, we get a couple thousand people listening to the shows and watching the videos.
Mm-hmm.
If all those people gave $1 American,
Oh, my God.
that's a lot of dollars, right?
I mean, I can't count that out, but yes.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah,
good
yeah,
amount
that
of
would be
dollars.
Like $2 million.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
shitload of dollars.
For
So
sure. At least
Patreon.com/veterans minimum. Shout out to everyone sharing the content. We've gained over 12,000 subscribers on YouTube. The goal was to get over 25,000 by the Super Bowl, and we got that in the first month.
Yeah.
Nice.
Kind of speechless. I can't thank you guys enough. It's been a hell of a ride. We're continuing. Shout out to we have a very good social media manager.
That's what I do.
Right here over to my left.
Trying to do
Mr.
things.
George Carmona,
Trying to
doing
do
it
things,
right.
Validate my job. Yep.
Doing
yep.
it right. Yeah, we got
Yep, I
approval
would
from the
wave to
people
me, too.
outside. Let's go.
I've
baby.
been doing a
Let's
good
go.
job. I would wave to me.
Remember
Yes.
to rate, review, subscribe everywhere. Spotify, Apple, fucking Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn,
Yep.
tables, ladders, and chairs. Oh my! Everywhere it's at Veterans Minimum. Support. The best support is from you guys sharing it with your feeds and everyone else
And watching it all day.
and watching it all day.
And arguing back and giving us back your feedback.
There we go. What Wayne said. All right,
Yeah.
let's get into it.
Yeah.
With a message for my people.
Nick Dab, baby. We the new label.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
Come on, son.
Now this the black sheep, sticking it to him. I need a crib like I'm Gatsby.
I need
Nigga
it.
in hand, just understand my
Pockets that deep.
with nothing to prove. I ain't got nothing to do. And I can't compete, and I got
Yes. What's
nothing
good,
to
everybody?
lose.
Welcome back
Told me I'm
to
one that's
the
gonna
number one
benefit.
sports betting vibe on the planet. Veterans
Pop it.
Minimum.
Yeah.
All things Veterans Minimum at Veterans Minimum. To my left, my dog sporting a Denver Broncos shirt that he got from a thrift shop.
From a thrift shop, from a
And
guy that
Wayne-
lost all his parlays.
And Wayne said, "Bro, did you watch that yet?" And he said, "No." So I think I'm going to slide my chair even further away from him.
Right.
That's probably what you should do. Yeah. No, I got this from the thrift store. Didn't wash it. Wayne thought it was for like the bad juju. I thought he was talking about the lice that I could probably get
No,
from
I'm
this.
Talking about the guy
But-
who lost all his parlays
Yeah. I mean,
wearing that shirt.
but I don't know. I'm already in the midst of a horrible losing season. I bet $1,000 for this contest, and I'm pretty sure this week I have solidified that I am in dead last place.
Wow.
Me and Cameron both. So it's. I literally texted her, Nick, and I was like, "What? Like, how are we going to address the media after this one? You know, going 2 and 3 and falling that low into the leaderboards, like." I didn't know what to tell the media, but
What are you
she's-
doing wrong?
Yeah, no, she's got the team back on track. I think we've been picking fucking losers, and we're gonna stop doing that. But yeah, I'm wearing a Broncos shirt because I'm a Bo Nix truther now. I kind of want a thumbnail chain or a lower third chain.
Oh,
He's-
Bo
he's-
Nix
he's-
now?
Baker Mayfield, everybody knows he's good.
Yeah. He's
coming to
Nobody
life now?
knows Bo Nix is the fucking truth, bro.
Well,
he's,
he's-
so good.
He's 28. He should be the fucking truth right now.
Yeah,
He
that's
is-
fine.
He's older than like Joe Burrow and shit. He's not, but it feels like it though.
Yeah,
This
he's
dude's
been
been
in
on
college-
so many.
college his whole life.
Yeah, he has been for a while. Shouts to
love
Wayne. Wayne back on the show. Wayne,
Yes.
the creator on social media, back in here. Fellas, there's a lot I want to discuss. I kind of want to open up the show with a talking point that kind of surfaced last week. David Montgomery said something that was both interesting and upsetting. David Montgomery, the running back for the Lions, just got paid. Now he's with the Lions until 2027. Got another, I think, $18 million guarantee. So shout out to him because running backs tend to be treated like dirty tramps and pushed aside after like 3 or 4 seasons in the NFL. Wayne and I were watching Henry. Yeah, we'll get to Henry in a little bit, unfortunately.
Right.
Also, George and I were texting about that. But Montgomery said that the last couple of years, he hasn't been as productive. Prior to him coming to the Lions, kind of a little bit of a shaky career. He revealed online abuse from fantasy football managers had him contemplating suicide. He
How
said,
you guys feel about that?
He said, I was at a point where I was scared to live after all the fantasy threats. David said a call from his nephew who had leukemia helped save him out of that dark place. George,
Yeah.
we're very playful on the show. We like to fuck
course.
around. This is a very serious topic. For those that don't know, the guy that got me into Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, he killed himself during the pandemic. So I'm pretty vocal about this topic. I also had my demons back in the day that I was dealing with. So this is a pretty sensitive topic. And I say all that because like we fuck around on the show a lot, George. We do say it's the best sports betting vibe on the internet. We like to have fun. We like to troll athletes, right?
Yes.
But there's a certain level, bro. I've got to know a lot of athletes, like even with Brandon Marshall being a friend of the show and talking to him. I say, yo, it's like do you get mad at some of the people that troll you? He's like, nah, man, it could be playful. Like, you suck or you ain't shit. Like, that's fine. But, you know, there's a certain line, right? Death threats, mothers, sisters, girlfriends, wives, religion. If you go into the MMA world, like Conor McGregor.
Oh, my God, yeah.
And everything that he was
I didn't
doing
even
with
think about
Khabib.
that.
There's certain lines that you don't cross, right? And it's very unfortunate that it gets that serious. Let me ask you this. When you saw this topic for discussion, what were your initial thoughts?
So this is deep, bro. This is super deep because, I mean, there was even a college football player that came out not too long ago talking about how he received death threats from people losing money on him. So we know the size and the effect that this has on people because, yeah, you don't want to be the one that loses people money. Now, I said it was deep because David Montgomery, like, said that he wasn't performing for these fantasy owners or whatever. He's just got, like, very high standards of himself. This man literally has not rushed for less than 800 yards in a season since he started. He's solid. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like he's had a really, really trash year. Even when he's been injured, he's been productive. He's just got such a high standard for himself, Nick, that when he's not getting 2,000 yards in a year, he feels down about himself. But I think whenever you are a professional athlete like this, bro, you got to seek counseling. Like, no normal human being is okay with somebody saying you should kill yourself. You know, you're a loser. Like, you would need help, right?
I'm kind of on it's kind of one of those things with me is like, what did you sign up for? You're going to get ridiculed by the fans, that they throw shit at you. They say awful things about your parents, your kids, whomever. You know, we're talking about a running back who has made upwards of $24 million in total his whole career. I think it kind of goes back to what I think it is that he may had a low performing year or a low performing game, and then that made him want to, you know,
Yeah, he was critical.
gave
of
him
himself.
suicidal thoughts. But it's not right to blame it on the fans, because if that's the case, then you should have suicidal thoughts every time you look at your comments. There's social media and this fandom that has built up due to online betting and just how big gambling has gotten. Bro, these guys had tough skin, bro. They're spitting on each other, grabbing each other's like asses and dicks on the field, and getting all kind of things during the game. That doesn't make you want to end it at that point. Now, I'm not saying that I don't have compassion for them, because I don't know what all these guys go through, and it is unfortunate. Yes, absolutely, it's a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
But, bro, it's a part of the game. Suck that shit up.
Yeah.
That part of the fandom and the shit talking with the fans, suck that. Yes, I get that gambling has created this whole culture, this community of cats who need you to perform.
Yeah.
And I think that it's created a lot of pressure for athletes because they can't just go out there and play mediocre football anymore. That's what it boils down to me.
Yeah.
Yes, you might be losing somebody's rent money or this, that, and the third, but you're hurting yourself by underperforming. Now, it's not realistic or logical for me as a fan to be like, oh yeah, I want you to go perform every game because you got injuries, you got cold, you got flu, you have different climates, and then some days you just don't want to play.
Yeah.
But we pay to watch you play. So give us that.
It is true.
There's a lot of
Millions of dollars.
Yeah.
It's a lot of money.
Listen, bro, I'm a believer that you have an idea of what you signed up for, right? The pushback that I would give to you, Wayne, is sports betting has always been super popular. It's just that now it's on the forefront,
Right.
and there's ESPN betting, right? There's NFL Network has the betting lines on the TV. So all this stuff has been going on for years. Now it's so public that the casuals are understanding how massive it is. For me, it's
We have
like, bro,
access. We have access to
we
the
have
athletes
access to
through
it.
social media.
Yeah, and with social media, right? Like everyone has an opinion, whether right or wrong. You feel like you're a part of a community and whatever it is you're building. You'll never hear me shit on social media because it's giving me everything that I have right now.
Me either.
I love social media. All the good, all the bad, whatever, man. You got to just know how to navigate and handle it, right? Like,
Yeah.
I personally like attacking trolls too. Like, all right, bro, you ain't shit.
Right.
And then they'll just go, and then I'll reply with something like, yo, I ain't reading all that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry that happened to you, or congratulations. That's what I tell people. And
Or
then they
just
get
be
angry.
like on some Patrick Mahomes shit. I don't care about your parlays. I don't care about the.
Yeah. Listen, bro, these guys, they don't care.
Yeah, I
They
don't think
care.
I don't think he
But
should
see,
be contemplating
when
suicide.
David
I think
Montgomery
it's
says
the-
something like this, it obviously shows that he does care, and it's like,
but shitty.
So it goes back to what I was saying.
Shitty.
though.
I think he's just trying to raise awareness. Like, I feel like his therapist like got him motivated. Like, hey, you could be the change in the world, and it's like,
But what change would you make in the
it
professional?
probably
sports
made him feel
consider-
better to say, hey, you guys made me want to kill myself. Like,
Okay, so
that's-
now as a troll, as a fan, I smell what? Quote,
smell blood.
I
Yeah.
smell blood. Now I'm gonna bet that you don't do 230 yards this game, and now I'm gonna go in there and just pick at you and pick at you and pick
Yeah.
at you. So,
But I mean, isn't it kind of, and I know it's terrible to say, but isn't it better when somebody said, like, I was having suicidal, like, thoughts and stuff instead of actually committing suicide?
I think also.
Oh
I
yeah,
think-
because they're still here. Yeah,
Yeah,
I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
It's just
It's
a-
fine. He
it's a really-
needed to do it.
It's a really difficult conversation to have. Let me ask you
Yeah.
this: you've ever had anyone kill themselves?
No, but I've had a friend. Well, he didn't kill himself. He overdosed. So would that count? Kinda.
I think it is.
All right. Well, I guess I would say yes, but it was accidental. But I've
Right.
never had anyone actually kill themselves over anything. No. But I've had people. Yeah, I mean, we've all lost people. But
Yeah.
I've never had that happen.
How about you?
No, I've
No.
never had anybody.
Especially not none of my rich friends.
Yeah, it'll change your perspective, bro. It'll change your perspective, and I kind of want to address that because I used to not have the perspective I have now. Because like, bro, the dude that got me into jujitsu, I spoke to him in the afternoon of the night that he killed himself.
Oh,
So I'm like one of the last. I'm pretty sure I'm the last person he spoke to. So my entire perspective changed on all this stuff. I think it's something that.
But no, I'm not. So again, I want to first note that I'm not being insensitive. This is a specific
I
isolated
get
topic.
you. Yes.
I'm strictly talking about a football player who is upset over the fact that fans are getting on him about underperforming. So I look at it from two ways.
Okay.
One, this could be a cop-out, right? Him saying that he would want some kind of compassion for his underperforming game so fans don't come in him as much. That's one. Then the second, I look at it as, well, what did you expect? I think on the fourth one, I'll look at, okay, well, maybe, he's actually is going through something. But when it comes to your career and your job, what did you expect when they called your name to come up there and grab that jersey and paid you millions of dollars? Did you expect no ridicule, no kickback, no pushback, no shit talking, no death threats?
That is true. It probably is not in the contract, but
No. But
it's implied.
so if he's getting that, what do you think Pat Mahomes getting? What do you think Brady got?
Love.
What do you think the greats
and
got?
fucking compassion
No,
in
get the fuck
every
outta
rose
here.
possible.
So the greats get it the worst. What do you think LeBron gets?
Hey, I get it. The greats get it the worst, but they
Derrick
also get
Henry,
it the best.
all these
So-
guys, Lamar Jackson, when he don't make it to the Super Bowl, or they get cut short every year. They get death threats, bomb threats, contract threats, everything. Everyone goes through the same thing. It's what comes with the game.
Yep.
Now I understand so Dak went through that, but Dak had a horrific injury, right? I understand that, but you gotta have tough skin with fans, bro. They expect a certain level of performance out of you, bro.
No, definitly. So
I
I don't know.
maybe
how was your perspective?
Yeah. What
fully changed?
what's your full perspective on this? Because I'm kind of jaded in a lot of different
Yeah,
ways.
no, totally. And I just wanted to make that clear too. You're not coming off as insensitive, at least to me. I just think again, I look at everything as yo, what are your experiences? My experiences were so different. I used to be like, really, bro, it's gonna get that dark for you? Until it happened to my coach. And then right before that, when I was being pulled in so many different directions and I didn't know what to do with my life, as far as I fell in love with creating content. But my parents wanted me to be a cop. I'd have to be off the internet. It was all this other shit. And I was just being forced. And I was spending money on lawyers to overturn me getting disqualified to be a police officer. Because I did a 70 and a 50 with the work van. So for me, I'm paying all these fucking retainers to overturn something I didn't want to do anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And just being pulled in so many different directions, owing money to people. And they're pressing me about it when I'm making no money. It was just a lot of life happening at once. And for me, it got to a point where I was like, damn, bro, this shit is whack. I don't even want to be here no more.
Yeah, but that's a totally
Right.
different.
So
If you had 24 million in your account,
bro, listen, I just went on this rant today that I think money buys you happiness. And everyone that tells you no, the biggest lie we've been told is that money don't buy you happiness. Because
But too much money will make you want to kill yourself.
get the fuck out of here.
No, I'm serious. There's plenty of billionaire people that off themselves. Life's too boring.
I talked to
so depressed.
Kenny Porter today. I see him a lot at the shots out to
There's
Kenny
a
Porter.
perfect medium.
That's Sean Porter's pops.
Yeah.
So me and him having a casual conversation. He says, my goal is to wake up happy every day. I said, what's your regimen to waking up happy every day? First thing he said was, he hunched his shoulders and he popped his collar. He said, well, brother, money helps.
Check the bank
He
account.
said, money helps with happiness. I started laughing. I said, finally, somebody's honest.
yeah,
Finally, somebody's honest. Because if money doesn't buy happiness, just like they say, it's a great down payment to it. You can park in front of happiness. You can get invited to a happiness party. But money is one of the largest ingredients to happiness, bro.
Definitely.
It helps that. Now having too much money I haven't heard that yet, but I mean,
it exists. Life, you don't understand how to mix with normal people anymore. Even rich people are poor to you, and you have 10 people that can relate to you in the world.
Think that's a variable of narcissism, of a personal judgment that you have on people when you get to that certain level and you start to look down or past people based on where you are financially. You can't go sit at your boy barbecue or go eat with Nick randomly because he doesn't make enough. That's
probably make you want to kill yourself, right? That's why they do it, dude. They just disconnect from reality. Yeah, it exists all over the place. But Nick.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm glad you're here.
Totally. I'm glad
glad.
too. Yeah, 100%. I mean, look, how different the world would be if I wasn't.
right. This world would be in fucking
I
channel.
also think though, when it comes to the topic of money, I think money does buy you happiness because it gives you a lot of luxuries and it gives you a lot of clarity on things, right? I'll give you a perfect example. I told George this a couple months ago. My mom called me one time and because I've been there, bro. I've had to make up lies to get money to get me out of spots. I've had to tell people like, yo, I'll pay you next week, and I wasn't able to. All these conversations are a lot easier to have when you do pay back the debt and then when you are in a better place. So I just remember my mom called me and she was like, yeah, the bills are coming up and it's going to be a little tight. I was like, yeah, how much you need? She told me, I was like, give me till tomorrow. I'll sell it to you.
Mm-hmm.
And like, that's one of the coolest moments of my life, bro, ever.
Right. That made you feel amazing.
Made me feel good.
Even if you was down.
Yeah.
Yeah, it made you feel
Like
good.
and that's the thing that I'm talking about with money buying you happiness. If you're a piece of shit and you make money, you're just a piece of shit with money.
Yeah.
Like my thing, bro, and it is the God's honest truth. Anyone that knows me and any of my friends back home, even George knows this too. I always say we when I'm talking about the show and what I want to build. It's always we. It's not I. It's never I.
Yeah.
And you said something interesting one time on a show, and I've ran with it. I'd rather be a rich teammate than a broke boss.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, it's like, yo, bro, I can't wait to make you quit your job and come and shoot content with us.
Yeah.
I can't wait for you to come and be my social media manager and get paid for that, and not working that weak ass job where you're going up and down elevators and shit as an electrician. So I always say we. And for me, I want to make money because I want to make the people that I really fuck with and I know fuck with me genuinely. I want to take care of them.
Yeah.
So do I have to be selfish with my time sometimes? Yeah. Am I selfish with my actions? Yeah, 100%. And if I've hurt you, my bad. But my intentions were never that.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, money is constantly on my mind.
Mm-hmm.
And now that I've made some money, I realize like it's way better than not having any. Because I used to edit for free.
Mm-hmm.
That shit was cool because I was learning everything and I was mastering my craft. Now I'm not editing for you for free. Now you got to pay. The prices went up.
Yeah.
So for me, money is not the root to all evil. I think money is the root to all happiness. This, again, is just my perspective. And to tie it back to what we were talking about before with David Montgomery, yes, having that kind of money, sure. The pushback that I would give is the threats can be taken very seriously.
Mm-hmm.
And also we don't know, is his family being jeopardized? Is his family's safety being jeopardized because he fumbled and someone lost a $50 parlay, which again, not to pocket watch, but the average American wager is $25.
Yeah.
So these guys are getting these threats for $25, $50.
Yeah, but you also don't know how the people who lost the bet, how they're feeling. I think they might be on suicide watch. But for anybody listening,
1-800-GAMBLE
and watching, I want you guys to know that we're all out here for you guys to talk. If you ever have suicidal thoughts or feel like life is over, please don't be afraid to reach out to either one of us or somebody. If not, I want you to reach out to 1-800-273-TALK. And it's a suicide prevention hotline. Back to you, Nick.
Yeah, man. Nah, that's great that you mentioned that because shit, bro. My buddy Mustafa one time when I was down bad, I just called him. I was like, yo, I need to see you right now.
Mm-hmm.
And then we went and like he's in the life coaching shit. And like, yo, he answered the call. So that's really important too.
Mm-hmm.
But I do want to kind of pivot a little bit because it has been pretty somber to start off the show.
Shouts out to
dude. No, we made it light, Nick. You said before the show was like, all right, guys, listen, tough topic. We got to make it light.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, he already warned you.
Nah, man, for sure. Listen, bro. Again, like I said, you guys haven't experienced that. It rocks your world. Like now I don't text because of that. Because of my Sergio killing himself. I don't text as much as I used to. Now, hear me out. I call a lot more. Because, like,
I'm a caller, too.
If I text you, like, yo, what's good, bro? How you doing? Oh, I'm doing great. It's different reading I'm doing great, even if you put the fucking exclamation marks. How many times you send LMAO and you ain't laughing?
Man, I just did it earlier.
I think 9 out of the 10 times, all right, LOL or LMAO, I ain't laughing. It's just part of like
and
the
then you feel
vernacular in the
guilty
text.
when you're really laughing and then you type it out. You're like, shit, what do I put now?
Yeah, if I put all caps,
Really laughing.
If I put all caps, yeah. If I put all caps and a bunch of O's, I'm really laughing. my
Yeah,
ass
There we go.
off,
Okay.
right? But if you get the all lowercase, I'm not laughing.
Right.
Sorry for spoiling that for you. But I think with like the perspective thing, right? Like all that shit changed with me when that happened because I just think everything is experience and perspective.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't feel that way until it happened to me. And then with the phone calls, with the texts, Now I'll call George and be like, yo, how you doing, bro? If I haven't spoke to George in a couple months, I'm doing all
Yeah,
right.
you always ask me that before you start anything.
Yeah.
You always say, how you doing?
So now I overanalyze people.
Right.
2-3 subliminal weird fucking out of character posts on Instagram.
Yeah.
Yo, bro, what's good?
Yeah.
Because you start with the experience thing. You start looking at like, damn, bro, he was kind of asking for help, and you don't realize it at the time because everybody's busy, everyone's going through shit. So again, with the experience of it, now I'm like, even shouts to my guy Teddy that I trained jiu-jitsu with. Hadn't seen him for a couple months, and then when I saw him, I was like, yo, bro, how you doing? He's like, I'm doing all right, man. I was like, nah, we gotta talk. I was like, yo, my bad for being nosy, but this is what happened to me.
Yeah.
My bro was saying the same shit, and then it got dark. And sometimes when you're not as close with someone and you tell them like right away, like, yo, bro, one of my friends fucking killed himself.
Yeah.
they kind of are like,
wait,
Bro, I'm
wait a
about to
second.
kill myself.
yeah. Nah, but yo, that's a natural
smoke.
response.
Yeah,
but for me, that's like my thing now, man. I overanalyze, and just to put a bow on this conversation with David Montgomery, I think that you do sign up for this stuff as far as criticism, constant criticism, 24/7 criticism. But again, I think it's like what happened with Khabib and Conor. It's like, yo, bro, you want to sell the fight, you want to do all this shit, cool. But when you start talking about people's religion and they're super religious, and then you start talking about people's wives and girlfriends and then threatening them physically, that's where I think people react the way that he did and why he said what he said. So that's just my feelings on that.
No, I'm in agreement.
Okay. I want to pick up the energy on this one just a little bit. Staying with the Lions.
Hey.
Beat the shit out of the Cowboys.
The fuck out of the Cowboys.
Bad.
Terribly.
This is the fourth game in a row in Dallas that Cowboys fans are paying their hard-earned money, and they're going to these games excited, and the game is over, George, by the third drive of the game.
Yep.
Can I give you a take? Have I told you how I feel about going to football games?
No, you actually haven't. And I gave you or offered you tickets last week that you took.
I'm only going. I don't want to sound bougie. I'm only going if the tickets are free. I'm not paying no more. I'm not paying no more because, bro, I went to so many Giants games where I was paying $400 or $500 a ticket, and I'd take a friend of mine, or I'd take a date, or I'd go with my dad, and then they'd get their shit punched in. And I'm like, damn, bro, at the time when I'm working at the fucking coffee truck, I'm like, yo, I just spent the whole week working from 2 to 11, flipping eggs and making coffees
For the shit.
for them to get their shit punched in. I'm not doing it no more. So I'm kind of bougie. I'm only going to games if it's free. I'll pay if it's like a Vegas Golden Knights game and they're playing the San Jose Sharks. Like, it's cool. I'll go to it, have a couple beers, chill, fine. But for me to pay my money to go watch my favorite team, I'm not doing it no more, bro, because of shit like this. Tickets are expensive to go to football games.
Especially Cowboy Stadium.
Yeah, and then the game's over, bro. That's 4 straight. You go back to the Packers game and the playoffs. You go to the Ravens game. You go to this game this past week. And then who else did they no-show? Oh, the Saints.
Mm-hmm.
The Saints. Complete games are over by the second quarter. It's a wrap.
Yeah. On Jerry Jones's birthday.
Yeah. Happy birthday,
Oh my
Jerry.
gosh. The old man turned 82, and for his birthday, he got a very, very average performance. Here's what I got as a takeaway from this game, and it's less about the Cowboys. I mean, we knew at the end of last season that they should have fired McCarthy. Now they're holding on to I have a take about him and nepotism, but I'm gonna hold on it. I'm gonna do some back end research. But the Cowboys are filled with nepotism. The biggest takeaway from this is the Lions bought into being tough 3 years ago. And when you buy into being tough, at first it's ugly and it doesn't look good. And you're going to lose games. And you're going to be like, what the hell's all this toughness for? 3 years later, this is what the toughness is for. Being able to say, we're going to unload the clip on the Cowboys. They ran so many plays that involved a lineman getting the ball that it was comical. But they only were able to do that because they've established the identity of we are just so much tougher than you that we're going to be able to do whatever we want.
Yeah.
The Lions are the best team in the NFC, and I don't think anybody really comes close.
I just feel Dak has. I think it's the Cowboys versus the Cowboys at this point. I think they need to look towards rebuilding as of now. I don't think they like each other. I don't think they like playing with each other. And you do the math. I mean, just this year alone, they in salary is $250 million.
Sheesh.
Dak himself has made $250 million just playing on that one team. $250 million playing on that one team, and with these less than lackluster performances, you got, Dak completing you got 17 out of 33, 175 passes total, no touchdowns, 3 interceptions, 25 yards rushing. They're last in defense with stopping the run. They're last in offense and running. They're last in defense and stopping the pass. I mean, they just can't do anything. They're not performing. So I think at this point we should consider a stop and rebuild of the Cowboys. Now I get CeeDee Lamb is paid already, and so is Dak, and I don't think they're getting along. I don't think they truly like each other, and I think that as the seasons and days progress, it'll be more and more separation. So somebody has to go, and I feel like CD switched up once he got paid, which is fine, right? Because he's feeling himself. He's a big dog now.
Is it fine?
Well, it's
or is this the reason why we fucking hate when receivers get paid, bro?
Well, I think
why are we switching up? I don't ever
think
get
there's
this.
I think there's two mindsets to it. It's like you kind of obviously you see when Jerry Jones paid him, he said this is a lot of money.
Yeah.
He said,
he knew.
Dude, he's getting so old you can't see the contract.
Jerry Jones, Jerry Jones knew.
Now, bro.
I think Jerry Jones was telling him like in so many words, like, don't switch up on us. And he did exactly that, right? He's yelling at everybody on the sideline. Now he looking at Dak, subpar, dead ass subpar. So I think that we're looking at a clear separation of the Dallas Cowboys. The team is folding internally. The foundation has cracked in. I think it's time to rebuild that team. I don't think we're going to see a Super Bowl out of them. I don't think we're going to see a playoff. I don't think we're going to see anything close to that. And I think they want to win now. And I feel as if it's time for everyone to go their separate ways within reason. But they have to kind of do what they got to do. Or the Cowboys can be tanking the season for a Shador, maybe a Travis Hunter. That's my last theory.
Yeah.
On them, but it's not too far fetched.
You want to know exactly what the Cowboys are going to do? They're going to draft Quinn Ewers because it just seems like
Texas,
bro. It's just Texas. It's just Dak Prescott was Mississippi State. That's not too far away, right? They're right down the road. He loved Andy Dalton. He had him as a backup for a while. TCU. There's another Texas quarterback in there. I don't know if Cooper Rush played at a Texas school, but it's just like he's got a type.
He does.
Central Michigan for Cooper Rush.
He does.
Anyways.
He does have a type, and that doesn't sound too far off either. So that's my last theory in regards of what's happening. So for me, obviously, I have those problems, but my last theory is this. Well, if I'm looking at it, it's like, fuck it. Let's tank and let's grab a new boy and let's figure this out. But they just paid Dak, and I know they're not going to sit him. But they'll trade his ass and still pay him. The Cowboys got money.
For sure. Yeah.
I mean, the thing I always said about the Cowboys was you pay Dak because at least in the regular season, he could get you to where you need to.
He's not doing it. He's a fucking turnover machine.
Yeah, now it's getting worse. Look, I'm going to defend them just a little bit. I think they need another receiver. Having just CeeDee, a lot of pressure on him. And now you're coming off a career year, and to Wayne's point, they paid you like a big dog. Now you're being covered like one too. Mm-hmm. And
CeeDee Lamb making $8.7 million.
It's one of these, right? Like he has one blow up game, and then it's kind of he just disappears. And I hate when receivers, when you're not even sure if they're playing.
Yeah.
Like there's been times I'll be watching, I'm like, yo, is he even playing? Like, did he get hurt? I go on Twitter, I'm like, yo, he hasn't gotten a target. He's It's not out there. Like, what's going on?
Yeah, I don't think they're getting along, bro.
Yeah. Remember Keon Coleman, the Monday Night Football game? We had him in our parlay for any time. He didn't play like the first 4 drives. I had to go on Twitter and look like, yo, did he get hurt or something? And it's just something happened. He just wasn't on the field yet. And then he comes on the field and he scores, cashes the plus 280 anytime. Look, I think the offense, a lot of issues. I think if you look at the Cowboys, they're now 0-3 at home. They had won 16 straight over the previous 2 seasons.
Wow.
But now they've lost 4 in a row. And they've been outscored by a combined 82 points in those games.
Terrible.
And like the Ravens game, the score looks a lot closer than it was because they went on that run at the end. But it's just bad, man. Dak, McCarthy, I kind of agree with Wayne that they need to just completely rebuild.
They do.
Because they're going to have to make some decisions, right? Like Micah Parsons is up for a contract. They just paid Trayvon Diggs last year. They paid CeeDee Lamb. What are they going to do at running back? What do you do with Jake Ferguson? Your offensive line is falling apart.
Yeah.
Do you do a rebuild? And do you bring in a quarterback in the draft? And then he has some weapons and you have some pieces that you can spend money on defense.
And I also feel like, Mike McCarthy, he doesn't step in enough. You never see camera footage of him telling, getting on both guys, or he's not like,
No, he's
is he emotionally there?
No, not when he's getting fucking throttled like that, dude. He wishes he was in Green Bay. In Green Bay, he would be able to wear those jackets that really hid like how fat he was. But now in Dallas, dude, you look at him and you're just like, you've let yourself go. And there's not even the excuse that you've been eating too many cheese curds. Like, you fucking fat
But I'm
fuck.
saying outside of
He looks bad on the sideline. When the Cowboys are bad, he looks terrible.
Okay, so outside of how he looks, he's never involved in any of those like arguments or getting on players, grabbing players by the helmets, or even he's just like there.
Yeah.
So what?
Low T. He's low T guy.
Oh, he don't have no testosterone.
He should probably look into
Okay.
That's a low T. Like Dan Campbell, fucking 1600, extremely high T. He's got T coming out of his eyes.
Do they bring Dion in?
Not enough toes to be an NFL coach.
Damn,
He's only got 8 toes.
his feet.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I didn't know.
okay,
If he,
yeah.
No, I didn't know at
He
all.
had to chop because his toes off. He had. That's what happens when you're too good in the NFL and you move so fast.
Damn, interesting.
Yeah,
Okay.
too much turf toe.
I think it was like turf toe, and it was bad.
Yeah, I also
But
feel
anyways.
like the Buffs. I feel like it's too much of a party on their sidelines. Shouts out to everybody that goes to their games, but
Yeah, Cameron was there this past week.
Yeah, Cam was there.
everybody. There's a party on their sidelines, bro. That shit's not happening at no like school. That's
The Cowboys game, dude.
Wow.
Yeah.
I do think we spent too much time on the Cowboys. We also got to show love to the Lions.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, they did lose Aiden Hutchinson, our defensive player of the year. He was the leading candidate. His leg snapped. If you haven't seen the footage of that, I would advise you don't. It's pretty gruesome. It's pretty nasty. And he knew right away, right? Like you just
he said
know.
it's broke.
Yeah, he said it was broke. No one knows their body better than themselves. And I think that's going to be a big loss to them, man, because he was leading the league in sacks. He was defensive player of the year. He does a lot for their defense. And to your point, George, like the whole toughness thing, that's a real thing because they disrespected the Cowboys too. Like that was an embarrassing loss.
Yes.
You're doing flea flickers. You're doing laterals. The first play of the game, first or second play of the game, they made that guy eligible.
Mm-hmm. It was the first play of the game.
First play of the game. Yeah. He was eligible because remember last year in that game, they scored, but he wasn't
Gosh,
eligible.
dude.
Oh, so they ran the same play
They ran
again.
the same thing. They made it clear that like, yo, this guy's fucking eligible on this play, and they made it very clear. And look, there's something about the Lions, and also just that division as a whole, bro. That division is fucking out of control.
Mm-hmm.
You're looking at all those teams in that division right now. They're all above 500. You have the Vikings are undefeated at 5-0. The Lions are 4-1. The Packers are 4-2, and the Bears are 4-2. The NFC North.
Bears.
The NFC North is no joke. And look, man, I know Wayne, it's actually perfect that you're on the show because you were kind of critical of Caleb Williams, and I'm not ready to crown him as the next one. I will say this. I said it on the NFL preview show, and I'll say it again. Bro, if you're winning, no one cares about all that outside stuff. But the moment you start losing, they're going to get at you for the puppy. They're going to get at you for the crying on the sideline. They're going to get at you for the nails and the outfits that you wear. They're going to get at you. And what we were saying before, this is what you signed up for. However, if you're winning no one's going to give a fuck.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I was saying on the preview show. Like, to me, when he did cry on the sideline, I was of someone like, yo, that to me, that shows me that he cares. Like, their season was over. No more Heisman, no more college football playoff. Like, his season, he knew there that, yo, shit is a wrap. That didn't bother me. And I also said, yo, if he was crying after every game, I'd be like, yo, Caleb, we need to talk about this. Like, what's going on, bro?
Right.
But with something like that, I had no problem with it. And now they're 4-2. They're coming off a monster win where they smoked the Jaguars, and the Jaguars always play out there. Jaguars was Ursulita. Ursulita's now 1-5 on the year. Boy, is she ugly.
Yeah, dude.
That shit is no
It's
joke.
fitting.
And look, Caleb, man, for as much heat as he got coming into the year and how much heat he'll continue to get if he doesn't play well, this is kind of what you're going to be dealing with, especially in Chicago. If you're winning, bro,
Good.
they don't give a fuck.
Nope.
If you start losing, be ready for the avalanche.
It's those
that's gonna come.
nails.
Yeah. It's the
That
nails.
dog.
It's the puppy.
Yeah.
It's crying to his mom. It's going to be all that stuff is going to start to surface.
Yeah.
So it's important. And that goes with everything, bro. With everything. If you're successful, if you're good at what you do, people will put up with your shit. Talk about Mike Vick. Mike Vick did nasty things to those dogs. Came out $100 million. Why? Because he could do this and throw a football 90 yards. Plaxico Burress shot himself. When he got out, got an opportunity to play again. It's always, if you're talented, people give you opportunities. But when you're not, they'll get rid of you really quick. The Ray Rice incident. Ray Rice was not what Derrick Henry is right now. It was like towards the tail end of his career. And they're like, yo, that video is fucking out of control.
It was gruesome.
And also,
Yeah, that video.
you're at the back nine. Let's get you out
He
of
actually
here
was
now.
supposed to sign a $56 million contract. Like, I think that same month or something. So yeah, that video came out. He was supposed to give. He was getting. That was his pay month or a year or something like that.
Jury's still out on Henry Ruggs. He could be phenomenal one day.
In 4 years,
I don't know.
Is he? How
due to
long did he
come
get?
out?
No, I did see something. He works
Yeah,
at the
no, he-
governor's mansion in Nevada, by the way. He's
was
like
there?
not in actual
Jail.
jail. He works at the governor's mansion.
That's crazy. You
Wow.
know that's right down the road from where I live? Yeah.
By the way, Caleb Williams, only quarterback to throw for 300 yards and rush for over 50 yards in an international game, meaning he's officially the best football player to ever play overseas, ever.
Who?
Caleb Williams.
Caleb Williams is the first player to do what?
Throw for over 300 yards and rush for 50 yards in the same game.
Well, where the fuck did they get these records from? When he does it, it's to something. But I guarantee if it was,
You know what's actually wild? Because I was thinking of the only international game that could have fought with this one, the Rams-Chiefs one that ended up being like 60 to 60.
That wasn't international. That ended up being played in LA. It was supposed to be in Mexico, and they moved that game.
Wait, what?
Yeah, so that game, I remember it vividly. That game was originally supposed to be in Mexico.
Yeah?
The field was bad, and then they moved it to LA.
No shit.
Yeah, the Monday Night Football game, which was like 51 to 48.
They eventually
or something.
played in Mexico, though, right?
They scored like 100.
The following year, they
I
played
think
in
they
Mexico.
played a
I think
game
they
in
figured
Mexico.
it out.
I think like the
Shit.
Raiders played there, but that
Okay.
game specifically,
Yeah.
they had moved it. I remember it.
But anyways, Caleb Williams, actually not that bad. And I'm starting to feel bad about all the shit that I really thought defenses would go after him a lot harder than
I thought he would do bad just because it was so much hype, and when there's so much hype, there's always so much letdown.
Can you live up to all that?
Yeah, I
And
think
he has.
I swear I never seen that kid Daniels come in the way he came. I was focused on Richardson from the Colts. Daniels is fucking that guy, bro.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the next game I definitely wanted to discuss for many reasons. One is Daniels, I think, answered the questions. It was interesting to see him and Lamar go at it. It looked like Lamar big broed him, just like in the way of how he played. And he showed him love after the game. But this Ravens offense, I think what they needed was Derrick Henry. George, I was texting you that yesterday couldn't have went any worse for the futures.
Yeah.
Aiden Hutchinson goes down, so we lose Defensive Player of the Year.
Right.
Marvin Harrison gets a concussion. He leaves the game.
Yep.
And while all that is happening, Jaden Daniels continues to shine, even though he doesn't keep up with Lamar. Derrick Henry gets another 100 yards on the ground, scores multiple touchdowns. He's destroying the Offensive Player of the Year ticket. He was 40-1 to win Offensive Player of the Year at the beginning of the season. I told George yesterday as I was venting to him, I'm like, bro, I think we picked the wrong running back that went to a new team. Even though Saquon at the moment is still plus 500 because he hasn't had the bye week yet, like Saquon has. Derrick Henry hasn't. I'll tell you this right now: the most wagered bet of this entire NFL season is happening this weekend. The Giants play the Eagles. He's going to be minus 350 to score a touchdown because everyone is going to bet that. The latter might be like plus 800 to score 3 touchdowns. It's going to be unbettable. But this weekend, Eagles, Giants, that's going to be the most wagered game by far. We'll need him to have like a monster performance at some point again.
Yeah.
But Derrick Henry, man, he's just been balling. And I think this Ravens offense looks a lot different than years past. One, because of him. Zay Flowers had a monster game. Likely is the tight end that can actually get away from someone. Like Mark Andrews is solid, and he's been solid his whole career. But he's not like a breakaway speed guy. He'll catch in traffic. He'll catch over someone, and he's good in the red zone. But he ain't catching a slant and taking it to the house like Likely could. And I think this offense, because of the running threat of Henry and Lamar, man, they're on fire. They've won 4 straight games. You can make the case that they should be undefeated. Woulda, coulda, shoulda. But this might have been the 0-2 team. I picked the Bengals. I think you picked the Ravens, if I remember correctly. But one of those two 0-2 teams has changed their season around, and it comes from the reigning MVP. He threw for 323 yards, and I think right now he's playing the best football of his career despite winning 2 MVPs.
Yeah. And we picked the wrong offensive style. We chose Nick Sirianni, and I don't have anything against Knicks. I think we're a very pro Nick podcast, but we were too pro Nick in that regard because the Baltimore Ravens offense is literally just RPO, RPO, and the fact that Derrick Henry's doing what he's doing now, which by the way, this is his 20th game with 100+ rushing yards and multiple rushing touchdowns. The only other people to do that, Jim Brown, LaDainian Tomlinson, and Emmitt Smith. That's insane.
Yeah, but what do you expect from that man, bro? He's like
right. Well, what the defenses aren't doing right now is crashing on him. They're saying Lamar Jackson is actually more scarier than what it would be to stop Derrick Henry on a lot of these read options. And even beyond that, though, like their offensive line just gets movement.
Yeah.
How far does this go, though? Where do we see the Ravens? I honestly believe it's going to be Detroit Lions and the Ravens in the Super Bowl.
I was a year early on my Super Bowl pick. Yeah. I literally bet that exact last year, Ravens versus Lions, and I literally think I was a year.
I think it makes sense, but how far can this RPO style offense this year get them to the big show?
No, because as soon as somebody stops their run game, like I've seen what will happen to the Ravens.
Can the Chiefs stop?
They'll blitz. They'll run cover 0, send 8 people at Lamar. I've seen it in every playoff game that Lamar's been in, where it's like you're going to have to make a decision in 2 seconds. And if we let Isaiah Likely beat us, so be it. But we're not going to let you fucking dance. And that's where the Ravens, they need to find another option. Zay Flowers is not that.
No, I still feel
he
like
had a good week, but he's not that.
Yeah, they still need a big body wide receiver. I know they're still waiting on Bateman to get going. He had a couple of nice catches, but they still need something else.
So, Nick, you don't believe that this team can get to the Super Bowl this year? With Derrick Henry, I feel like they have a huge chance. I say 70%.
Look, I think last year was the best chance that they had.
Damn,
because you had everything go through Baltimore. You had the Chiefs not playing as well as they have in the past. Like that last year was the year to get the Chiefs. Their offense was not that good. Mahomes just made plays when it really mattered.
Yep.
Like the offensive weapons were not there. And their defense was lights out. Like the Chiefs defense, that is. I just think last year was the year for the Ravens. Now, are they going to use that as fuel to power them this year? Maybe. It seems like it so far. But again, I thought that they were going to miss the playoffs this year. And after 0-2, I felt really good about it. And now they're the hottest team in the league. Them and the Vikings. They've won 4 straight. So with Derrick Henry, everyone always talks about, come November and December, that's when it's going to be hard to stop Derrick Henry. Shit, it's hard to stop him now, bro. Like he's had half his games he's had over 100 yards, and he scored a touchdown in every single game. He has 8 touchdowns on the year. And with the RPO stuff, I think that's why the other guys are having so much success. The Likeleys and the Flowers and the Nelson Aguilars and even Bateman. It's because is Derrick Henry back there? That's Lamar Jackson. It's a lot to have to stop in that backfield.
The way that they built this team, and it really surprises me. Had the Dolphins gone after some really premier tight ends, I think this is what the Dolphins were trying to accomplish with their offense. Because exactly what Mike McDaniels is doing, they're really doing in Baltimore as far as their run game and their styles. Except the Ravens have tight ends that can block, and they're a very tough team.
Yeah, but I think Miami still is going to run into an eventual problem with their quarterback.
Yeah, they had to find a way to get the ball to Tyreek Hill down the field, and
they need a new quarterback.
Are the Dolphins still a football team? I feel like
had a
after
bye.
week 1, like
No, I think the Dolphins turned into a college team. They play on Saturdays.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Look, for as much as we hate Tua, and he might not be
No,
everyone's
I don't
favorite.
hate Tua. I think he's great, but I think he's done.
No, I hate him.
No, I think a lot of people, not I'm not saying you specifically. I mean, the general consensus is, oh, why'd they pay Tua? He can't get it done. I think they're like 1-13 without him, and it looks bad without him. For what they're doing, he's perfect for them. Would I be happy with him? I don't know. I would need to have everything to be happy with Tua.
I read something that said Tua's coming back. I'm like, they don't care if he's a damn.
Well, we had this little like mini skit
Vegetable.
we were talking about on the show a couple of weeks ago. How I think it was after week 3 or 4. How if I was Miami, I would go to Tua and be like, "Yo, bro, are you retiring? I need to know because if you are, we got to trade Waddle, we got to trade Mostert, we got to trade Tyreek because we can't pay these guys $25+ million and they're catching bubble screens." Because that's what they're doing now with Skylar Thompson as their quarterback. And
Who the fuck is
Huntley.
Skylar Thompson?
Exactly. That's my point. Like, you're paying all these guys that kind of money because we have Tua to throw down the field and to get the ball to them, not to throw bubble screens. And if you're Miami, you should really have that conversation with him and be like, yo, bro, listen. Even if it's not this year, do you plan on coming back? Do you plan on continuing to play football? Because his concussions have all been on prime time, so it's magnified 10x because now everyone is talking about it. And they've been so bad. They've been so bad, these concussions. And if you are going to retire, you got to be like, yo, bro, are you? And if you do, it's cool. But we need to know so we could plan what we're going to do with our organization.
Yeah. I think he should retire. I think he should take a pay cut and retire and be a coach.
I think he's
Or he's going to be a vegetable.
He's yeah. I mean, yeah, for sure, bro. He's I
No
think over
disrespect to the
100.
vegetables out there. I know how we live in.
Over
yeah.
over 100 million.
No disrespect to the vegetables.
Over 100 million in his career.
Yeah.
He'll be netting. So that's definitely a lot of money that he can.
Yeah, I think they shouldn't waste it. I think they should say, hey, look, we'll pay you this amount over this many years, and you can be on the sidelines. But it's too much. He's too much of a high risk as far as injury prone. And no, we don't
totally, man.
want him to
Totally.
be a vegetable.
And then all the
That's
backlash
the
that they'll get if he does get hurt again is gonna say shit like, "Yo, why did you put him out there? You saw how bad it was."
Yeah,
So
like you
it's
guys
kind of
killed
a-
him.
yeah, it's kind of a lose-lose situation in a way too. The more I think about it, but again, like I'm not for telling anyone what they should do with their life.
I
and their
would throw
career.
away the player because quarterbacks are replaceable. You can replace a quarterback. They are disposable.
I don't know, bro.
Well, we
They're
don't
like-
we
they're
don't
like
know
one
how
of-
great he's gonna be, so we're
Yeah.
paying him based on potential anyway.
True.
So if I'm dating you or paying you based on potential, then you're replaceable because I don't know what your true potential is.
You're
So
100% correct.
I'm getting
They
a
are
new
replaceable.
quarterback.
It's kind of hard to find it, but
You go to
Who
fucking
knows?
Alabama again or LSU or Georgia. That's where they come from anyway. Or you find one at a small school, bring them in. Like,
I heard
bro,
the ones from Clemson are really promising.
no.
Oof,
Wait, what?
that's getting worse and worse by the week.
Clemson's quarterback.
They're so
Yeah.
cool, bro.
Yeah.
That one dude's got the long hair, and the other dude, I mean,
Yeah, no.
hang out with him in Thailand. You're gonna have
So
a great time.
it's you get a new quarterback, bro, and we move on. Everything is hopeful anyway when it comes to sports. Hopefully you're good. Look at Pat Mahomes. What number did he go? He's a fucking problem. Been a problem for the past 10 years now. He's going to continue to be a problem, right? He wasn't the first round of a first top 10 draft pick. So you find you another quarterback. There's no point of this dude almost dying out there, bro, and them folding their whole franchise. You got to bro.
Yeah.
Jump off the ship before it sinks. Fuck.
You get Cam Ward. He's the first player ever to never have to go through the NFL draft. He was playing at Miami last week. Hey, big dog, we're pulling you up right now.
Yeah.
He's already in Miami. There's no need to switch it up. His room and board's paid for.
Right.
Just giving you ideas here, Dolphins
Nick,
fans.
am I wrong? Am I saying anything wrong?
I think the thing that I would say you're wrong on is how you make it seem like finding a quarterback is that easy.
It is.
I don't know, bro. Miami's been looking for one since fucking Dan Marino.
Mm-hmm.
The Browns have
Miami don't know how to draft. All Miami needs is a black quarterback.
The Browns need
That's what. Listen.
I mean, bro, look.
Listen. You need
Cam Ward.
You need a black quarterback. That's the thing. They've been trying to avoid to draft a black quarterback. They got a Samoan one. He didn't work out. So just go straight black.
Yeah, Cam Ward.
Wayne, I'm glad you're on the show to be able to say that.
Yeah.
Just get a damn black quarterback. Like, bro, that's the evolution of quarterbacks. They're all black now.
Yeah, all the best ones are.
Right. So why not join a fucking black club?
Yeah.
Like, get you a black QB.
Mike McDaniels is racist.
Oh.
No, I'm just kidding. All right.
You want to talk about Baker? Your boy?
Yeah. Well, we knew, by the way, people, if you did not listen to me when I said the Bucs were playing for something greater than themselves, like, what are you doing? They throttled the Saints. And the only reason why that game was close is because you had a Baker interception early and a punt return for a touchdown. This game, at a point in time, the Saints were up. I think it was like 29-27 or something. And then the Buccaneers go absolutely crazy.
Bro, what's Baker Mayfield on, bro? Where's he come from?
He loves football and he's good at it and he slings that thing better than most.
Because he was trash like a year or so ago. What happened? Like what he just
No, Baker Mayfield's never been trash. Let's clear that up right now. Baker Mayfield was in a bad spot with Carolina and then in a 48-hour notice wins a game on Monday Night Football against the Raiders. By the way, we're going to get to a question maybe later on.
What about the Browns?
And he's involved in my favorite sports moment of all time.
What about the Browns?
He led the Browns to their first playoff appearance in millennia.
Is Baker Mayfield black?
No, but he's got the card, I would imagine.
He does. He got some flavor to him, bro.
Yeah.
He's definitely got some swag. I would say to answer your question, what happened with Baker Mayfield? I think he's at a place where he's happy and they fuck with him.
Yeah, true.
Bro, we talk about body language guy all the time. I'll never forget when I went to that Raiders-Steeler game last year. Nobody fucked with Jimmy G when he would get knocked down. It'd be like one of these, like, yo, can we go to full real quick? Go to full.
No, I think he thought it was a part of it.
Oh, no. Yo, can you go to full? Go to the full shot. There we go. They would help him up like this. They would help.
Yeah.
They didn't
like
it was never like a, come on, bro.
Yeah.
Fixing your shit. Like, nah, none of that shit at all. And with Baker, like, they rock with him. Right? Like, Mike Evans loves him. Chris Godwin likes him. The guys on the defensive side of the football, they rock with him. And sometimes it takes that. It might sound corny or cliche, but we talk about it all the time. Sometimes you're just in a bad situation and you're not happy and it's going to affect your play. And then you go somewhere else and they fuck with you and they like you and that elevates you. And also, like, he has Godwin and Evans, bro. That's
what you appreciate and not tolerate it.
Yeah, that's a top 5 duo in the league, without a doubt, for years now. That's why Brady went down there, too. Brady was on some podcast, and he was talking about how he decided to go to Tampa. And he laid out all this stuff. It's like, yo, bro, you went because they had the best roster. Like, that's also the answer right there, too.
Yeah.
If you didn't have Evans and Godwin, and at the time Leonard Fournette, you wouldn't have went down there.
What was he talking about? Like taxes and shit? Like,
yeah, he was talking about taxes and feeling appreciated. It's like, no, bro, listen, you went down there because the team was stacked, and then you got AB to join you for that 1 year that you ended up winning a Super Bowl. All right, how it transpired after was a nightmare, but the team was loaded too. Like, everyone was looking at that Bucs roster saying, if they had a quarterback, they could probably win the Super Bowl, and then they go and they get the greatest quarterback of all time.
Right.
So with Baker, he's in a position where now he's somewhere where he's happy, and they like him and they rock with him. So that's what I think. To your point about him never being trash, it's just like, yo, look how bad Cleveland is. Cleveland is a nightmare. Wayne was talking about it's easy to find a quarterback. They got, what, 28 names on that jersey since the 2000s?
Yeah.
It's hard. It's hard to find quarterbacks. And I think Baker now he's balling out. Like, bro, he's putting up MVP numbers.
Well, the reason why I say it's easy to find a quarterback because
No, I'm just trolling you.
just to you know, to kind of expound on what you said. I just feel like bro, it is. They're everywhere. That's all.
Baker,
Pick him up. Yeah, Joe Flacco is available in the offense.
Exactly. Joe Flacco is available. He doesn't want to go home. He hates his family.
yo,
Like he's been playing football forever.
yo, to your point though,
Since
like
2008.
look at guys like Baker Mayfield, look at guys like Sam Darnold. They go to new situations and they flourish. Like even Justin Fields had a rough game yesterday. Like he threw that one interception where it was like, holy shit, thank God I got called back. But that one was just like he just underhand tossed it seemed like to the linebacker.
Yeah, bro. I just think these guys ain't get. I think it's based off popularity. It's who's not getting ridiculed at the time. Like,
Oh yeah, because then like what we were saying, like Bryce Young, right? He's a good example. That dude's toast. Because especially in Carolina, he's toast because the team looks better without him.
Yeah.
And then we were talking about social media and threats before to start the show. It's kind of the same thing. Like that guy can't go back to Carolina now. Like he needs a fresh start. And who knows? Maybe he goes to a LA Rams and you got a Cup and a Puka and a Kieran Williams and then you got Sean McVay. Now you're in a new situation with an offensive genius.
Yeah.
And it's just a change of scenery. It's the whole Nick Foles and Carson Wentz thing. Bro, when Carson Wentz, after they won the Super Bowl without him, when he pulled up to the stadium and they had a statue of the backup, you were done in Philly, bro. You can't go there.
who the fuck? That is.
Yeah. Nick Foles. Yeah, there's a statue of Nick Foles outside of where the Eagles play.
Which is just
Yeah. Isaiah's an Eagles fan. He's doing the fist
It's
bump.
fucking
Like,
crazy.
could you imagine being the quarterback, bro? And like every time you walk in there, you got to look at the guy that won the Super Bowl. Like,
You
damn,
got
bro, that's
y'all
not
there?
me. You can't play there. You got to go.
dude.
You gotta
As
bounce.
you are on your way to an MVP season,
Yeah, you got to bounce
even
though.
crazier.
And that's what I'm saying. Like these guys, maybe Daniel Jones goes to a different team and he flourishes. That could definitely happen
Mm-hmm.
because Daniel Jones, outside of the Cowboys game, like he hasn't played bad this year, bro. You
Yeah,
look
he's
at
still
blind.
NFL
You look at the blind resume. He has better numbers than a lot of guys that people stand over.
Mm-hmm.
But it's the stigma.
Hey.
It's Daniel Jones. He stumbled that one time on an 80-yard run. He looks like
Right.
an asshole when he throws. It's shit like that, right? But he goes to a new situation. It's completely different. So
And the Giants are in the rebuilding stage. They might not ever be good again.
Giants are. I thought I was back, but I'm not back now.
Yeah.
I'm off again.
really.
By
quick,
the way, hold
Yeah,
on.
yeah.
Really good tweet. I made sure to screenshot this because I'm gonna tag them on Twitter and make sure that they see this. Marshall Green said Tommy DeVito threw 8 touchdowns in 6 starts last year. Daniel Jones has thrown 8 touchdowns in the last 13 starts. And I said Tommy DeVito is also the reason why we don't have Jaden Daniels. So I hope everyone enjoyed the random Monday Night Football win against the Packers. That everyone was telling me like, yo, bro, we won a primetime game finally. Enjoy now. Look at what Jaden Daniels is doing.
My dude-
And you guys wanted 3 random wins in November. Now you got to sit here and enjoy this.
My
Enjoy
dude
what we're doing with.
KP gave me a quote this morning. He said, even a broken down car can get you from A to B.
Yeah, bro.
It won't get you from A to Z, though.
Mm-mm.
No. Well, and Z
Shouts
being
out to KP.
that fucking Super Bowl. Yeah, the Giants. I will say this because I appreciated it. Daniel Jones is running so hard that he's trying to injure himself. I'm not making this up. If you go back and you watch every one of Daniel Jones's runs, he is like Josh Allen level throwing his body into people. Did not slide at all. Like for the first half, I swear to God, he swallowed like 4 hard tackles downfield. And I think, I'm going to just predict it now, unfortunately. Is DeVito still the backup?
Yeah. He's
You're getting DeVito in the next 2 weeks. Because Daniel Jones is literally, because even if he doesn't get injured, He'll fake one. He'll fake. I mean, why wouldn't I always think this? If you're an NFL quarterback and it's going bad for you, bro, just lay out for one and just coach.
Pretend you're hurt.
Yeah.
Like the dude from Utah, the college, he's on his 8th year. He's an 8th year quarterback.
Yeah, I know. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
Leg injury.
But yeah, the Giants, maybe he's not trying to get hurt and that's just who Daniel Jones is.
Yeah.
No, that's not who he is.
I don't know. Would you
That's
say
not who he is.
He does have a
That's
running
not who he
element
is.
to
That's
him,
not
but I
who he
feel
is.
like he slides more, or he did slide at the beginning of his career.
I think they just know that they're not going to keep him. So to them, it's like, yo, if he
Fuck
get
it.
hurt, he get hurt. If he dies, he dies.
If he died, he died. Fuck
God.
it. Yeah.
Because
Oh,
they're
God.
running him. They're running him, bro. They're running him. But I think it's also that, like, look, that's also what made him really successful in 2022.
Yeah,
They're doing
getting
this.
loose.
Yeah. But I think, yeah, he's not coming back after this year, because they could cut ties with him and save money after this year. I do want to talk about the Bengals though.
Yeah, I was about to say, was that a believable enough performance for you? Or it's over.
Yeah,
it's bad.
I'll tell you this: the Giants' defensive line is gonna be a problem for a lot of teams. They were
Sexy Dex.
first. They were first in the league coming into week 6 in sacks, Burns, and they didn't have Kayvon Thibodeau. Defensive line is a problem. That's probably the only thing on the roster that's like untouchable. All those guys are amazing. However, the Bengals, Joe Burrow broke off like a 47-yard run. I thought that was a mistake when I saw it because I was running some errands, so I missed that opening
Somebody
drive.
cashed.
I was just
What was it? Was the plus 2,000?
38-1 to be the first TD scorer.
3,800 to 1?
Yeah, well, yeah, $100 when you 3,800. Yeah, and he busted
Outta
out
there,
a
too.
fucking long ass run. George, let me ask you this: Bengals are 2-4. Here's their schedule: at Browns, home Eagles, home Raiders, at Ravens, at Chargers, home Steelers.
They win 2 of those.
2 of them.
Yeah.
Damn, I had them losing 2.
They win.
Yeah, they lose the Ravens game and maybe the Steelers.
So I want
Like
them.
in division, I think
Yeah.
they're fucked, dude.
They win 2, bro. They beat the Raiders and they beat the Browns.
So the reason why I asked that is because I want them to
They
get
lose
to
everything.
6-6.
Mhm.
They're 2-4. I want them to get to 6-6, because then when they get to 6-6, they got at Dallas, at Tennessee, home Cleveland, home Denver, at Pittsburgh.
They're going to lose to Dallas because Dallas going to get their shit together at some point.
Are they?
Yeah.
That's a really. It sounds more favorable than it is, Nick. But
Remember-
they have no run game.
They don't. They don't.
It's bad.
Yeah.
However, look,
They lose to the Eagles. They lose to the Ravens.
I
They
think
lose to the Steelers.
I think they might. It might be.
Do they beat the
dear-
Broncos on the 29th?
I think it might be Dear Cincy this year. Remember last year was Dear Buffalo?
No, dude. Pack
Yo,
it up. Pack
if
it up
they
with
get-
this.
If they get to 6-6, I want them to get to 6-6. We're betting them every week.
You know it's
They're gonna
Okay.
go. They're gonna go 11-6.
All right.
after. If they get to 6-6, they'll go 11-6. They're gonna win out.
you know it's
That's crazy.
it's
That's why I
It is
asked you
nuts.
guys about the
Not a
wins
fan.
and losses, because I think
Hell
look,
no, bro.
they should have.
They
They-
beat the Browns. No, they lose to the Browns at the Browns crib. They lose to the Eagles. They beat the Raiders. They lose to the Ravens. They lose to the Steelers by 3. They lose to the Chargers. They lose to the Dallas. They could beat the Titans because the Titans are trash. The Browns are at them. They'll probably win that game. They'll lose to the Broncos, and they'll lose to the Steelers at the crib last game of the season.
a lot of losses.
Yeah, you did you name any wins?
Yeah, I did. I said they would beat the Browns at their spot, right? They play the Browns next. So the Browns, they're gonna lose. They're gonna lose that Browns game. They're gonna lose to the Eagles. They're gonna lose to the Ravens. They're gonna beat the Raiders. They're gonna lose to the Chargers. They're gonna lose to the Steelers at the crib. They're gonna lose to the Cowboys. They're gonna beat the Titans. They're gonna lose to the Broncos. They're gonna beat the Browns at their house, and they'll lose to the Steelers at home in the last game.
All right, if that's how you feel.
Reason
then-
why is because the Cowboys gonna get their shit together. The Titans may go on. Well, no, the Titans ain't. The Broncos are going to the playoffs this year. right?
Love hearing that. I know
The
we'll get to that
Steelers
soon
are
enough.
going to the playoffs this year. The Bengals started the season off bad, bro. Did they pay the boy yet?
No, they always start the season off bad.
No, they haven't paid.
They haven't
Chase.
paid Chase
No.
yet
Yeah.
either, bro. Is he really like a
He's
part of
gone.
the team at this point? You
I don't know
what I'm
why he
saying?
keeps playing.
Yeah, I mean, I know why he keeps playing because he's an NFL player. But my thing is, they started the season off. The energy was bad, bro. They had bad juju from the start.
Yeah.
The sidelines wasn't there, and it's still not there.
Let's just be real. It's Joe Burrow's haircut, and he's trying his hardest to get rid of these little frosted tips. But it's ever since he went fucking
Cody Rhodes.
not so Slim Shady. It's bad. He's been trying to grow it out as fast as possible. I think he's got to go bald like me.
No, I think he should go
Get
back to the
complete fresh start.
OG white boy Rick, Joe Burrows, with the buffs on, with the chain. I think he got to go back.
Macaulay Culkin, Burrow, yeah,
Yeah, he got to.
or he grows a beard. Ooh,
Yeah, I don't know.
something's big's got to change for me now.
I don't know. I'm not really worried about his hairstyle because I don't think it's him. I think he's having an MVP season. It's just that his team is 2-4. If you look at his numbers, he's balling out. Yesterday he didn't put up a monster performance through the air, but he made some big.
Mhm.
He converted, I think, like 3 third and longs,
Yeah.
and it was like he's not the problem with the Bengals. So I'm not worried about his hair. I'm not worried about the schedule either because he's playing at a high level. So I really think that I've been looking at the number. They're 40-1 to win the Super Bowl. This is an odds play. I think it's very intriguing. And I'm not worried about Cleveland. I think Cleveland is a dumpster fire. I'll be worried about them if they come out this week and they're like, yo, we're playing Winston. Then I feel a little bit different about this take.
Dude,
But
Cleveland
look-
is always
listen to what you're
bro,
saying. Nick,
Cleveland.
that's not a Super Bowl team.
No, it's
and
not.
even a long shot.
No, it's not. And
Who else is 40-1? I need to know, just because then mentally I could be like, all right,
They're gonna
Okay.
give up at some
That-
point. You might as well just get some draft picks out of the season.
true.
Let me tell you right
But
now.
yeah, who else is 40-1 to make me feel comfortable about you doing
If
this?
they lose 2 more games, the season's over.
The Dallas Cowboys, the Tampa Bay Bucks,
I love that one.
the Commanders,
I really like that one.
the Bears,
Oh,
Not so much, but okay.
and the Jets.
I like the Jets.
I'm back.
The Jets.
40-1 doesn't sound too bad for the Bengals.
When they're
They
pulling
fit
with
in
the-
that group,
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
when you were saying it without the group, I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
Nick,
Yeah,
I don't know. By the way, would you respect me if I had frosted tips?
I'd respect you regardless.
Yeah,
bro.
Would you respect me
honestly
if I had
think-
frosted tips?
I honestly think I don't know. Don't like. I thought that's how
I'll never be able to have them. I'm just asking.
Nick got frosted tips.
I probably.
Yeah, I kind of like your look
Nick
now.
Nick
bro.
got a frosted beard.
Yeah.
Look,
Cool.
see,
No, he doesn't got a frosted. That's a little
frosted. He got
salt.
little frosting flakes.
I've had white hair since I was like 23, bro.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
He's
Like
been
a
working,
decade.
dude.
Been working.
That's
Them-
that's
them
that
early
over the
egg
grill
shifts.
type beard
Yeah.
right there, bro.
I want to wrap with the Denver Broncos.
Yeah.
You wanted to say something about this. You made this very public in the notes
Bo Nix.
What did I text you during the game?
about his interception.
Yeah, because I'm at the Raiders game and I couldn't watch the game and I just see I'm like, motherfucker. I said Bo Nix is the truth. And the first thing I see is an interception. So I texted you. I said, Nick, how bad was the interception? And you said, not that bad.
Yeah.
Right off the receiver's hands.
Yep.
I go back and watch it. And it was just an unfortunate series of events. They have that interception, which was a dot across the middle of the field. Bo Nix looking amazing. And then they had a running back fumble, and then they punted 5 times, and before you knew it, it was 20-0.
What's
But
their record right now?
the Broncos
Yeah.
are
3-3.
currently perfectly even right now.
Okay, so they'll probably they'll be fighting for a playoff spot maybe.
Oh yeah. I'm thinking that if KC has any sort of hiccups throughout the year, and this is the only time that Denver's going to look this suspect or have that bad of a start, they still have a plus point differential of 16 throughout the season.
Mm.
But anyways, I'm not necessarily sold on the full team. I'm more so dedicating my segment on the show every week for the Broncos to be about Bo Nix. I think I can be a Bo Nix correspondent that is reliable. I'm going to give you guys the truth on him. And I analyzed his performance from this week. Not that bad. He had a highlight play, Nick, and I don't know if you saw it, but he got sacked from behind. He gets out of the sack, runs for the first down.
Yeah.
The only other time I've seen that, the longest yard. When the offensive line doesn't block.
I wasn't
the ball
expecting
crew,
that.
And he gets the first down on 4th and long. That's the only other time I've seen that play. If you know, go back and watch that movie. It's one of the greatest movies of all time. Bo Nix is in that pass to Cortland Sutton on the final drive to bring it to within a touchdown. They get an onside kick there. Who knows? But Cortland Sutton, only he could catch that one-handed. It was beautiful.
What do
Broncos, here? My final point is Bo Nix played so good towards the end of the game.
I was going to ask you, what does Bo Nix look like to you in the future? What are we looking at? We finally found our piece, or?
Oh yeah. The last time the Broncos had a good quarterback was when this shirt was worn, and that was probably Peyton Manning. Yeah. I'm just gonna bring this around every time I talk about Bo Nix on the show. Now I'll toss this on and I'll feel one with the Denver people. Tough loss.
Don't put the parlays in with that shirt on.
Tough loss for the Broncos this weekend because they just had such a slow start. If they didn't start off so slow,
what does Bo Nix need to work on?
A ball game. What does he need to work on?
Yeah,
listening to Sean Payton more.
How the fuck you don't listen to him?
Because he's hard-headed, dude. He's 24 years old, by the way. I know we've been making jokes about how old he is. He would be the youngest person in the room right now. Yeah. He's gotten really just to listen to one of the greatest offensive minds, keep taking shots and chances, and he'll be fine. You can't be afraid now all of a sudden in this league when you start throwing picks. And he has started to prove that he isn't. And he can run the ball well. Very few holes that we need to fill up. Maybe just finding the check down a little bit more. But I don't know. Are you guys buying stock on the Chargers?
No, not so much on the Chargers.
No, not yet.
I think they need some more offensive weapons.
Yeah, not yet.
I think with Bo Nix, he's a guy that went into a good situation as far as having an offensive mind as his coach, and he's a young guy.
Do the Broncos want Travis Hunter? What do you think about that?
I don't know.
Should he go?
He'll probably go, but I think it's way too early to think of that. They definitely do need a skill position player. Like there's no running back they have that scares you. Cortland Sutton, he got injured the last couple of years, so he's not the same receiver he once was. So they need some weapons. But I think he's in a good spot as far as with the coach, right? Like I'm not the biggest fan of his, but the situation he's in is definitely better than what a lot of guys would go into. So I just saw that the Bills won 23-20. Road favorites. Ready for this, George? Road favorites in week 6. 9-0 straight up.
Wow.
9-0 against the spread. This is the most covers in a single week without an ATS loss by a road favorite since the NFL merger in 1970.
Damn.
That's really going to help me in the contest. I don't think I'll be in dead last now. I needed a stat like that to save me.
So basically, if you just blindly picked the road favorites, which is always like very fishy and suspect.
That's why
you crushed it this week. Absolutely crushed it this week. Yeah, that's a crazy.
When do you bet the road favorites though? What's the number so that our fellow gamblers?
So here's the thing: it's situational, right? Like with anything, but I think what professional bettors say and what I've always used is if I like a road favorite, add 6 points and would I bet them if they were at home. So if a team, for example, is a 3-point favorite, like let's use Steelers Raiders, for example. Right. There were 3-point favorites, Pittsburgh in Vegas. If that game was in Pittsburgh, they'd be 9-point favorites against the Raiders. Would I bet the Steelers in that spot? If the answer is yes, then I play them as a road favorite. If the answer is no, then I don't play them. I'm not saying I would bet. It's kind of like the toxic one we talk about, right? I'm not saying that I would bet the dog in that scenario. I'm just saying that I wouldn't bet the road favorite if those circumstances don't align with my logic of breaking down.
Does that same logic apply to a home dog that you would bet at the crib? Like when does that when do you reverse that logic to the home dog?
Home dog, it's kind of the scenario that we had on Monday Night Football, even though it didn't play out that way. Like I didn't think that they should have been underdogs at home, the Jets, in that spot. So the logic is kind of flipped where you're given free points there. You're being given free. I thought they should have been 3-point favorites. They're 2.5 point underdogs. That's a 5.5 point swing. Wrong outcome, but
Yeah.
that's kind of the logic and the breakdown between those two.
Gotcha.
I appreciate that question though. That's a hell of a question.
I mean, they need to know both sides. So
Yeah,
that,
nah, totally, man.
You know, they understand the logic and
Without a doubt, yeah.
I look forward to
And it was just one of those weeks where there's gonna be regression, folks. It happens all the time. Anytime there's a wild stat like this where 9-0 straight up and against the spread were road favorites, next week they might go 2-9. Like it's gonna be a massive swing. If there are gonna be that many road favorites. This was also circumstantial, but it's just one of those things that you need to be looking at.
Yep.
George, let's wrap with a Monday winner.
Yeah, let me go to the Action Network. Monday winners. My Monday winner just officially got fucking demolished.
I wanna
Wait, they lost by 3?
Yeah.
Was it 3.5
The Jets?
when we said it
Nah, it
on
was
Monday?
2.5. It was 2.5.
Are you sure you don't want to just make me
Positive,
feel good?
I can't lie to the people.
Hey, yo,
bro.
that was sus.
Are you doing Monday winners of today's schedule or the next week?
Nah, so Monday winners, it kind of happened a couple years ago. We had this kid, Kenny Bets Big. Shouts to Kenny. He would come on the show when I first linked up with him, like halfway through one of the seasons. And I just asked him to give a pick on Monday for the games on Sunday. He gave one, I gave one. And then we ended up going like undefeated for the first 4 weeks we were doing it. Someone in the Discord just named it Monday winners. So it kind of like caught on its own. I do want to run through our standings, right? So in this economy, Adriana and Trust Me is 13-6-1 on the year,
Phenomenal.
right? In this economy was the Jets plus 2.5. Now we're 5-2 on the year there. Adriana was the over in the Cowboys game. Now that's 3-3 on the year. Ursulita is 1-5 on the year. So basically, if you are betting Ursulita, you're 5-1. Trust Me was the over in the Commanders game. That's 5-1 on the year. And the toxic one is 4-1 on the year with the Bengals covering. We said not to play the Bengals, don't play anything in that game, but they did cover. So that's 4-1. I feel good about the picks, man. And yesterday went 1-4, 1 of 4 on anytime touchdown scores. Only AJ Brown scored, missed on Mike Evans, missed on Marvin Harrison, missed on CeeDee Lamb.
Isn't it crazy that Mike Evans didn't score in that barrage of points?
I know.
If you were to say the Buccaneers are going to score 51 points, we would be like, we should probably bet the ladder for Mike Evans.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Legit.
nuts.
But he didn't score because my $25 influenced that. So
Oh, yeah, of course.
shout out to Mike Evans. Monday winner, George, lead us off.
It's got to be the Broncos -1.5 versus the Saints on Thursday Night Football. This is the Sean Payton revenge game. And I told Jeremiah, the studio manager, before he left today, I was like, what is going on in Vegas's mind when they're making these lines about the Saints? Because rookie quarterback, first start against a team that is clearly outmatched offensively compared to the Saints, and the Saints were only -3.5 versus the Bucs. I'm looking here. The Broncos defense is going to embarrass Spencer Rattler. This might be a Dennis Allen fired game because of all the shit that Sean Payton will bring to town with him. I love the Broncos -1.5 here. Like that really jumped out to me on a short week with a rookie QB. Oh, I love it. I love it.
Who you got, Nick?
I don't want to bet this game because I rather watch it and enjoy it. But I have a couple of principles in this betting space that I just have to take. Patrick Mahomes as an underdog in 13 career games,
Oh my God.
including the postseason, is 10-3, 38 touchdowns to 11 interceptions. He is 11-1-1 against the spread in those games. And they're 1.5 point underdogs coming off a bye going up against the San Francisco 49ers. You also have Andy Reid off a bye. You have Mahomes as an underdog.
Nick, how is this the line?
I'm betting this now. You have to bet this now because they'll be
this
favorites
is
come
changing,
Sunday.
dude.
Because everyone's going to start talking about this. So bet this now. Bet this right away. +1.5. I just have to take this.
I might put
And if you
my
just look-
contest picks in right now.
Yeah, if you just think of it as like, if I was just betting this one thing my whole life, how much I would be up on. Mahomes could lose this for us, and we'd still be happy with the run that he's
course.
given us as an underdog. But I just have to. I have to bet this game here. It's them coming off a bye with extra rest. Andy Reid off the bye is something outrageous. His record is unbelievable. I think he's like 19-4 off the bye, straight up. And then also they're an underdog, so straight up that would account for it. I gotta take Pat Mahomes. Shouts to Tucker D. Franklin, my guy Tucker from KC Sports Network. He put out the numbers there: 70.8% completion, 38 touchdowns to 11 interceptions. I mean, you just have to. And 6 of those games came in the last 2 years.
Mine
You
is
gotta take it.
mine would be Patriots +5 in London against the Jaguars, over in the Vikings game, and the Seahawks +3 at Atlanta. I think the Seahawks either win by a touchdown or win by a blowout.
I really like
And on the safe side, if you think Atlanta wins by a field goal, then you'll push on the 3. If you want to tease the Seahawks up to about 4.5 or 5, you wouldn't need that much. But I like the Seahawks a lot. But the over in the Lions game, why? Because they just lost their best defensive player. The Lions can score, and so can the Vikings. That's going to be a shootout. If it's nice outside, it's going to be over 50, and you got to take the Patriots +5 against the Jaguars. The dude, I think May has woken up. He looked really, really good this week, and I think he's going to even look better in London. And remember, those London games are entertainment. So they don't really let him get out of hand. So I'm going to go with the +5. I think the Jags, if they do win, it'll be by a field goal.
I will mention that I think like 2 times a year, we get those weekends in the NFL where I call it +1 weekends, where like you're in a very healthy relationship.
Mm-hmm.
+1 weekend would be one where like, hey, you know what? Maybe you go pumpkin picking. Maybe you don't watch football. This is not one of those weekends.
No.
Right? You got Texans, Packers.
It's a good
You
game.
got Seahawks, Falcons, Lions, Vikings.
Why the Texans dogs?
You got Ravens, Bucks. Yeah, that was crazy there.
Yeah.
You got the Chiefs, Niners. You got some banger games. Jets, Steelers. You got some really good games on, man. This is not the weekend to be spending time with the +1. You got to be parked on the couch, watching, make sure you're tuning in. And also Monday Night Football, we have a doubleheader again. Chargers, Cardinals, and then Bucks and Ravens. So
Not a fan.
very, very massive slate in the NFL.
Yeah. Not a fan of these double up Monday night games.
Yeah, I kind of don't like them.
Especially because we work on Monday nights, bro.
No,
It's
I
like,
know.
what, Roger?
Out right
Mr.
now,
Goodell.
out the TV, I can just see the score. When the game is usually on, that little crack over there in the doors,
Gives you the score perfectly.
I could just see the score. Yeah, that's why if I just do this, I see the whole score. If I'm here, I see just one side of it. So that's why if you ever watch me looking that way, like on a beeline, because I'm trying to see if we're sweating these bets
Yeah. Or he's checking out a fine piece of ass walking by in the
off the
mirror.
reflection. Yeah, we also do that too, man. Shout out to the win. Shout out to everyone in the studio.
Nick, how often do you bet? Are you every day?
Nah, man,
game?
I bet on what I like.
Okay.
Yeah. Like yesterday, I bet 2 things. Well, 3 things with the anytime touchdowns.
Yeah.
And then I bet the 2 overs. So I had a really good weekend. Actually,
And what's the max amount of parlays you put in straight bets?
so I straight bet everything.
Okay.
If you ever see a parlay ticket of mine, I've straight bet it too. Because you got to remember, I don't really do money lines.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm never really laying juice. I'm never really laying -300 to win 100.
Okay.
A lot of them, it's the spread. So it's -110 either way,
Mm.
or it's props.
Okay.
I'll give you a great example. And also, it's something I want to get off my chest too. I think sports betting and everything that we do, for as much as we love it, I think it's really fucking stupid also. Because Saturdays, like this past one,
Message.
will help you understand why I say that. I woke up 10 minutes before the UFC card, George. Least prepared I ever was for a UFC card. I opened up the betting app and I just looked at the fighters that I know and who they were fighting. I was like, oh, he has a grappling advantage. He has a grappling advantage. So does he.
They all lost.
plus 400, plus 300, plus 500. Hit all of them. Parlayed them. I turned $75 into $1,800 on Saturday.
Jesus Christ.
And I'm saying that because
But is that smart? Is that smart?
No.
to the bettors out there.
no,
is
no,
this smart?
It's not. And
Okay.
here's why I'm saying it's really fucking stupid what we do, because I'll put in 15, 20 hours into my Sunday picks and my research for the pods, and then I'll go 1-6 against the spread. Or I'll do the same thing with a big UFC fight card. I'll put in hours. I'll read articles. I'll watch fighter interviews.
Right.
I'll listen to all this shit. And then I'll go 1 for 12 on my props. And then I'll wake up at 12:50, open up the app, just off the top of my head, knowing the fighters and what their strengths and weaknesses are, put in a bet and I hit. And it's like, yeah, it's dope to win. Everyone wants to win money, right? I also look at it as, bro, I put so much time into this shit. When I don't win, it's also frustrating on that end.
Yeah.
Like the money comes and goes, bro. But for me, I get a lot of value in what George and I talk about all the time when people hit us up like, yo, bro, I love that Monday winner. I hit on this. Like that is just as good for me as hitting the bet.
So how do they stay consistent? How do you win because right now this is a season where we got sports every day, damn near from 5 to 10, 11 at night. What advice would you give a bettor out there who does this full time and wants to win every single day? How do you win every day consistently? The smartest way to win every day.
It's hard. The best advice would probably be not to bet every day. When I bet on something, like yo, there'll be weeks where I'll probably have 3 bets for the whole week.
Okay.
I used to
out of 7 days.
Out of 7 days, yeah.
3 days.
Yeah.
But that's not enough to pay their rent or their bills or car note.
If you bet big enough, that's the second thing I was going to say.
If you bet big enough and if you bet smart enough too. Because what is it that you want? Do you want to? A lot of people on social media is not what they're portraying. I know most of these guys. It's not. It's a very, very few that are what they're saying and how much they're saying that they're betting. It's very difficult. My number in my head, truthfully, is I want to try to win $500 a month. My
pay
goal
for what, Nick?
Extra shit, sneakers. Look, I just bought these the other day.
Heyo.
Right?
Okay.
I bought these the other day.
So $500 a month, which is
Yeah.
$6,000 a year for you, right? But
Profit. I'm talking about profit.
But what about the guy who wants to make $2,500 a month?
You got to bet more and you got to bet less games. You can't statistically fire off 10 bets a night and think that you're going to turn a profit. It is very difficult. We know sports bettors that they'll make 1 bet a month, but they'll lay 5, 6, 10K.
Yeah.
Right?
Some
Obviously the
50K,
bankroll.
yeah.
Some 50K.
Yeah.
And there's dudes, man. There's dudes like the difference between gambling and betting, in my opinion, is our 2 approaches right now. I'm betting. I really like something, I'll bet on it. I'm not just because we're at the bar, I'm gonna throw $100 on something. I'll throw 20 as like, yo, bro, what do you have on this game? Oh, yo, I got Steph Curry to get over 30. We're gonna be at the bar watching the game. All right, I'll throw $20. But that's money that's recreational. That's not my serious bankroll.
Right.
I have a serious bankroll, and then I have the bankroll every week or anytime touchdown parlay.
Right.
I throw $50 on it. Not expecting to win that. I'm straight betting them 50 each touchdown, and that's going into my serious bankroll. You gotta tamper expectations, and it's very, very difficult, man. It's the unit size. It's not betting as much.
Because what I want to get them to understand on these bits on this segment here is understanding the actual logic, the discipline behind betting. Because obviously, you're here to give them financial advice and to bet the right way. You don't want no one to lose.
Right.
But obviously you got a lot of different mindsets.
Sure.
So it's like, I believe in consistency. I believe in the more you win, the better you get, and you get to stack a bankroll. But that's not everybody's mindset. So the thing is, it's like consistency and discipline kind of go hand in hand. So that's what I'm saying. That's why I was asking those questions, to get people more of a better concept on how to manage their money and stay consistent at the same time, and discipline, winning the bets and then stopping, shutting down no matter who's playing.
Yo, you have to, man, because I started doing this with UFC where I make all my bets before the card happens, whether it's 3 bets or 12 bets.
Players, not to cut you off, but I don't want to forget this question, but are players' parlays actually worth it more than team parlays?
Could be. It's all
Like
circumstantial.
prize picks type shit.
Like, I'm betting on you as an individual versus the Lions as a whole. I'm betting on individual
It
players.
could be, and that's
Yeah.
where the research and the actual betting standpoint comes into it.
Okay.
Is it because you're doing? Is there an advantage? Is this team really bad against the run and you're favoring the opposing running back? That's why, even though you think that team might lose. Yeah, there's different edges, bro. You don't need to just bet totals and sides. You could definitely bet on props. Like now, updated, if you've bet $100 on every anytime touchdown that I've given out on the Patreon through 6 weeks, you're up $1,800. Just individually betting that. We haven't hit one parlay yet, but you got to remember these props are plus 160, plus 320, minus 190. Those get into it. Every prop, every anytime touchdown guy this week was all a minus number. Lost all of them. AJ Brown plus 190, he hits. So it's very volatile, but you can't. Think about this, man. If you fire off 20 guys to score a touchdown,
It's not gonna happen.
it's not gonna happen.
25,000 look good to win, but you gotta win.
You're better off picking 2 to 3 that you really like and just going with that. And the last thing I'll say on all this is I always bet what I like. I'm pretty stubborn. I don't listen to anybody giving me picks at all. Now, I'll show love to Matty Betts. When Matty's on a fighter in the UFC,
You taking them?
nah, if I'm on the other guy, I'll take him, but I'll lessen my amount. So say I wanted to throw 200 on him. If Matty is like adamant, like, yo, bro, that's the wrong line for this, for A, B, and C reason, instead of putting 200, maybe I'll throw 100 on it because I'm stubborn. I still believe what I believe in.
Right.
No one's ever skewed me off something. And we know some of the like legit real professional bettors out here.
Right.
Yeah. The most important thing to know is all those people that you are buying picks from are not making all those picks. That's the one thing that if you don't understand that, like they have their specialty plays.
And then also too,
It's their job to give you 5 of their best plays every day. It's not they're not putting all those in.
also too, if you guys catch a bad break, it's okay to slow down or stop betting for a while and just kind of watch the game, just to kind of, give you guys that disclosure that
Bro,
max out the
100%.
credit cards,
Right.
fucking figure it out. We're trying to hit the top of the world.
One of my most successful
30 under 30.
One of my most successful videos ever was saying that gambling is the worst addiction of them all. That includes drugs, that includes sex, that
sugar.
includes
You think it's worse than sugar?
I think everything. I think nothing beats. I think it's
I
number
can stop
one.
gambling, but sugar is a battle for me.
Well,
This shit got sugar in it.
yeah, well look, sugar, you can't win with sugar. Whereas with betting and gambling, in theory, you could go out to a craps table right now and get hot for 20 minutes and you could walk away with your rent. But you could also lose it in 10.
Yeah.
So the ebbs and flows in that, I think it's the most dangerous because there's a physical reward that comes from it.
I
Shouts
got
out to
so
Melo,
happy
too.
when you said
Shouts to Melo.
Shouts out to Melo.
when Nick said
Shouts out to Melo.
you could go out there on the craps table and just get hot real quick and get your rent. I literally, I'm not exaggerating, smiled so hard.
You did, yeah.
And then when you said, and then you could lose everything in 10 minutes, I was like, yeah, Nick.
Yeah.
But it's crazy. Even you saying it, I was like,
Bro, it's a real thing, man.
It's the greatest
I
honor.
firmly believe that gambling is the worst addiction out there. I don't think anything beats it. So, and I've had a gambling expert on the show, and he was biased because he's a gambling addiction expert. But yeah, week 6 fallout. Let us know what you guys think. Make sure to rate, review, subscribe to the podcast wherever it is you're listening. At Nick Dais 10 is where you can find me. George, where can they find you?
at Mr. George Carmona. Follow it, and then follow all the things that I'm working on. Wayne?
At the creator on Instagram, spelled THECR 3, the number 8, TOR. Make sure y'all follow me, follow us, follow we. Always us, never them. The number one sports betting podcast.
Catch you guys next time.
Peace.
In his element, I'm a gold medalist, bronze like your medal is. So many deer in headlights, but it's bedtime. Hear that supper bell, main course, be the venison.
Dab. Most dangerous game. Either kill or be killed.